Hello there, my lovelies. It has been another week, a full week at work for me this week. So I had a really nice weekend last weekend, a nice quiet one, um, and then a busy week at work, and then what's the weather been like? A bit all over the place. We've had a lot of greyness. We had one glorious, beautiful, sunny day. And oh my goodness, my mood was so elevated. It was just, oh, to have some vitamin D in my life. Um, I've got a few things to talk about this week that I haven't talked about before. One of which is an actual, relatively new perfume, just generally, and a couple of others that are new to me, or at least new to me talking about them on here, but have been around for a little while. So if we start with this one, this is like weird. It kind of doesn't look like the front of a box. It looks like the back, but this is the front. This is a L'Occitane perfume en Provence. This is called Melilot. I saw this one on Fragrantica and I thought it sounded really interesting, and then I saw it on eBay and I was like, I'm going to try this, and also I really think this bottle is really cute. So if I just, you can still get this from actual L'Occitane, but I think I got it for about £30 online, whereas I think it's more like in the region of 60 plus if you get it new. So this says, this forgotten flower was used in ancient times to create fragrant recipes, and L'Occitane en Provence has reinvented its scent. This perfume. So I'm increasingly thinking now, because I have seen and I did try I think it was it called Lavande Blanc or something? It was like a white lavender perfume that they had, that I think, if I remember correctly, smelled a bit like Chance Eau Tendre or something like that. Very fresh, clean, kind of body lotiony smell. That one actually said it had ambroxan in it. But I'm increasingly thinking that quite a few of the L'Occitane perfumes now have aroma chemicals in them, because I feel like this one might have the one that smells a bit like tar to me. Not like in a strong way, but this is the bottle. Cool wooden lid. I think it's rather smart looking. I like it. So I'm trying to work out with this one whether it is just the notes that have a bitter, sort of slightly burnt scent to them, or whether it is the fixant. Because again, like, I do get quite a lot of that the more this dries down, and it is the scent that lasts, which tends to suggest that it's a fixant, but it's kind of in there in the same amounts as something like the Ariana Grande perfume. So it's not loads, but it's enough that I can smell it and it irritates me. This is a pretty perfume though. Um, so the notes in this are pear, galbanum, and carrot seeds in the top. The middle notes are hazelnut, melio, or sweet clover, hay in the mid, and then the base is bran, cedarwood, wheat, and vetiver. So it definitely has a kind of weird cereal biscuity kind of smell in it. But it's also got this glorious sweetness. It's got a lovely juicy pear. It's compared to, and I kind of see where the comparisons are coming from here. It's compared to the original version of Scarlet Poppy by Jo Malone, and I think it has that same kind of cereal branny kind of, but with fruitiness and a similar level of sweetness as that one. But it's not quite as kind of fluffy as that one. It definitely is a little bit fluffy. It has a slight fluffy sweetness, but it's not got the same, not quite the same as Scarlet Poppy. Um, it's kind of, on one hand it's really pretty, and on the other I just don't know that I can wear it. So I'm not entirely sure about this one yet. I feel like if I'm thinking about it this much, it probably is because there's something in it that irritates me. But the other thing that's kind of odd about this, and I'm not sure if it's just because of the level of sweetness, the ever so slight fluffiness, the very slight kind of burnt, tarry smell, and then that really juicy pear. I'm not sure if it's... It kind of reminds me of the Baccarat Rouge profile a little bit, just a little bit. almost like if you mix Scarlet Poppy with Baccarat Rouge or with like Cloud, or more specifically, actually, if you mix Scarlet Poppy with Seductive Red from Guess, I just, when I had it on, I was just like, why am I thinking of Seductive Red? And smelling it now, I feel like it does have a little bit of that vibe. Just making sure I haven't buggered my microphone there. It's really pretty, but I'm not entirely convinced by it, and like for me wearing it, if you see what I mean. But it's really nice at the same time. I sort of don't want to get rid of it, but I also think I probably shouldn't keep it because I just don't know. And I do, because when I smelt the Herbe, I think it's called Spartim or something like that, the most recent flanker of Herbe from L'Occitane, I thought that there was an incredibly strong woody jasmine in that. And I only smelt that one in store, and as soon as I smelt it on card, I was like, I can't put this one on my skin. It's crazy. And the lady in there did say, yeah, they should have called it Herbe Jasmine, right, rather than Herbe Spartan, which, or whatever. I can't remember what it was, to be honest. But I'm now thinking maybe that had the fixant in it as well. So maybe that's what I'm smelling. Maybe they're using that same thing because it's the same kind of smell. Oh, the other thing to say about this though is there is a very slight, and this is the L'Occitane DNA is again. I don't think it didn't list honey in here, did it? But there's honey in Herbe. This shares that kind of honeyed DNA that you get in a few of the L'Occitane perfumes. It's like a really specific L'Occitane honey note. It has that same kind of vibe. So again, like if I didn't get that slight weird, almost like bitter green almond kind of smell, if I didn't get that kind of scent from it, then the chances are I'd keep this because I think it's super pretty. And I think if you do like Terra de Luminaire, then I actually think that you might really like this one. I'm just throwing it out there. Might be worth going to sniff it, is what I'm trying to say. Gosh, I've been rambling for ages. My goodness. Consider that a singular review. Okay, so next one. I'm already opening it. So Vanilla Musk by Coty. I did give this a proper chance to actually give it a full wear. You know, proper lots of sprays. And it is super pretty. I think someone else is going to love this, but it's just got a little bit too much of that DNA from Vanilla Fields for my liking, even though this one is not as floral. There's definitely flowers in here though. There's definitely flowers and there's definitely fruit in here. It doesn't list that. It only lists vanilla, musk and sandalwood and cedar. But there's definitely other things going on here. It is not just purely musky at all, and it's not just purely vanilla. But it's got kind of, I actually really do, I quite like this bottle. I don't like the font and the writing on it, but the actual bottle with the concave back and the rose gold lid, I think is really cute. I just think it's cute. Anyway, it's gorgeous. It actually, it's not massively like, it kind of works the same way as a classic musk in that, yeah, let's just put those back there, shall we? It works in a classic musk in that it's noticeable, but it's not like really strong. It's one that if you walk past, like someone will get a waft of something delicious, and in this case, really sweet. And I think it's kind of more vanillic than it is musky, this one, but it's super pretty. And I mean, just smelling it now, it's super pretty, but there's a little part of my brain that keeps flinging back to the jasmine vanilla nightmare that is Vanilla Fields. And I know loads of people love that. I really genuinely have a problem with a strong jasmine mixed with a vanilla, especially like a classic vanilla. That's just not a combination that works for me. And it's partly because I just hated that perfume when I was at school and all the girls I knew wore Vanilla Fields, and a lot of it. And back then in the early 90s, it was strong. This one is a cologne concentration, but it actually lasted on me for quite a long time. I thought the longevity of this one compared to a lot of the other Coty's was much better, and it is a very pretty vanilla. It definitely is. If you like Vanilla Fields, if you like Vanillary from Lush, you would love Vanilla Musk. Like, you'd love it. I mean, I kind of love it. I think I would absolutely love this on someone else, but because this is really hard to find, I just think it would be wasted in my collection. I think I'm going to reach for other kind of light vanillas that I have. I would definitely reach for Le Parfum from Lalique over this one. It smells like there's peach in it to me. I think it smells like there's peach and some kind of florals, which is just kind of putting me off a little bit. So that one doesn't work for me, but it is really, really pretty, and I will pass it on. I'll put it on eBay as soon as I get time. Okay, this one though, guys. Oh, I'm excited about this one. I forgot to bring the box over, but anyway. It's still not strong. Vanilla Musk is stronger than this. This is actually supposed to be an eau de toilette. This is Coty Exclamation Wild Musk. I have to put it on an angle, else it's going to be like crazy reflective. So Wild Musk is a perfume that I absolutely loved and adored, and I wore when I was at school. So when everyone else was wearing not Vanilla Musk, because I never actually saw this one for sale in the UK. It probably was, but I for some reason never saw it. All my friends were wearing Vanilla Fields. I was wearing Coty or Wild Musk, and it was back when Wild Musk came in a kind of sort of weird, almost like bullet-shaped black bottle. Oh, I felt so sophisticated. I was probably only, well, I was in fact, because I remember I was dating the first boy that I liked. So I was 13, and I felt very grown up. I was like, oh, I'm so sexy. And he thought it smelled really nice as well. But it was, yeah, it was probably a bit grown up for me. Now, the current version of Wild Musk by Coty is absolutely disgraceful. It is basically just coloured water. You get the smallest hint of what that perfume used to be, and then it disappears. It doesn't last for like 2 seconds on your skin. It might last for about 20 minutes on your clothes if you're lucky, and then it's gone, like gone. So I really wanted to try this one because this is Exclamation Wild Musk, and I think the idea is that it is the Wild Musk scent with a hint of the kind of original Exclamation scent as well. But to me, this one actually smells so similar. Well, yeah, like a very slightly more fruity version of the perfume that I wore when I was a tween, you know? I absolutely loved this perfume. I still love it. It's really subtle now, which is a bummer because again, like Coty perfumes used to be strong, man. And I'm not saying that because like I've got older and I'm just remembering things differently. I'm absolutely sure everyone used to smell so strong. You could smell everyone's perfumes for like miles away. And now I'm a fusspot, obviously, so I don't necessarily want to smell really strong perfumes all the time. But I at least like one that actually lasts more than an hour. This doesn't really. Yeah, about an hour, maybe two. But my goodness, this is so evocative for me because it really does smell. It's the closest you can get to the actual smell of Wild Musk, unless you get a vintage bottle of the real Wild Musk. If you get the new version of Wild Musk, it smells less like Wild Musk than Exclamation Wild Musk. This is, yeah, definitely spray this on your clothes. This is so, I don't know why it's so sexy. So the notes listed: orange, mandarin, orange, and bergamot in the top, floral notes in the mid, base notes musk, sandalwood, vanilla. So it's in the realm of the same musk as Skin Musk, my favourite all-time favourite. So Parfum de Cour Skin Musk, I really love that one. The spray is slightly more similar to Wild Musk than the actual oil, but the oil is much stronger, it lasts much longer. That is by far my favourite. That is like my comfy, cozy, anytime, love the smell of it. And it is kind of sexy, but in a kind of slightly more soapy, clean way. This is definitely more animalic. You go through a little stage where you get that slight indolic kind of, you get a little bit of that kind of pea smell that you get with the old perfumes. It really only lasts for about 30 seconds for me. And then it just turns into this amazing, beautiful, comfy, golden, warm, tasty, tasty musk that just smells sexy. I just love it. I love the way I smell in this. Yeah, it's just so pretty and it's not overly soapy. It's got a little bit of fruitiness to it. But thankfully, because I was worried this was going to be super peachy because it is an exclamation version of Wild Musk, but it's not. I got this bottle, which is 100 ml, for, I think you can get it from Luxe Perfumes for like, was it £8 or something? But I think I actually ended up getting this one for about 15 from, maybe this one came from Amazon actually. Yeah, I think it was Amazon that I got this one from. But you can get this relatively easily and in different sizes. So if you like Wild Musk, go for it. And this one I will talk about in conjunction with some other musks when I do my first musk vid. And I yeah, if you don't like having to respray things, go for skin musk oil. If you don't mind respraying and you like something a bit more animalic and sexy, this is the one. This is the one. Oh my goodness. It's just, I just love the smell of this stuff. Right. This was just a kind of evening, wanted to smell yummy. It's so pretty. I'm always sad I don't really get so much of the top notes and the opening of the perfume, but again, with Ariana Grande, this is Thank You Next, this is the body spray, as you can see, I just can't wear the perfume because the perfume has that fixant in it that is in all of the Ariana Grandes from Cloud onwards, and I can't abide it. I just hate it. It smells like tar, just don't like it. So the body sprays that I've tried so far don't seem to have that in, which makes sense because if it is a fixant, I don't think with body sprays you bother trying to make it last any longer. So it's like this feels like it's missing that really tar-like note that I get when the perfume dries down. But I also don't get quite the same yummy juiciness of the pear and the raspberry that I get with the perfume. So if you don't get the fixant thing, I definitely think it's worth having the actual perfume of Thank You Next. I do understand what people are talking about when they say pickles, but that's not a thing that lasts very long for me at all. This for me is genuinely a lovely, fluffy raspberry macaron with a bit of coconut. Like, it's so pretty. I just think it's really girly and really pretty, and I really like it, to be honest. So it's one that I'd also happily like spray on sheets and things like that, which I actually just got some more Ariana Grande body sprays because I wanted to see whether, like, they're all actually wearable and more wearable than the perfumes. So I mean, it's really going to be difficult to get through 8 fluid ounces of this stuff, but I think I could happily spray these on sheets and just around the house because I just really like them. I recently got Moonlight. I'll talk about that at some point. I'm waiting for, and I'm very excited about, and I really hope it works, God is a Woman, because I couldn't get a body spray of that one, and I recently saw that they've started selling them. I think originally they were like limited edition, but now they've just come out as a body spray. So I will let you know because I love God is a Woman. I really love the ambrette and pear going on in that perfume. I think it's such a nice combo, and it's such a nice like rendition of that. But yeah, that tar note, I just couldn't do it. So this one is raspberry and pear in the top, middle notes coconut and pink rose, base notes macaron and musk. So I'd say, it's a raspberry and coconut macaron with some pear and pink rose. It's got a lovely musk in it. It's just really pretty. It's just so, so pretty. Really glad to have this because it sates my desire for this scent, because I was really sad I've never found anything that smells like this. And I don't like her first two perfumes. What is it, like the Sweet Like Candy and Ari? I find them really sickly. I don't like them at all. Whereas this one and God is a Woman, I really like. I'm actually wondering if I'd like the Cloud one. I wonder if that's missing the medicinal note. If I try it, I'll let you know. Okay. If you watched my video with my husband, this I think he chose as his favourite of my cold weather perfumes. This is Rive, My Only Wish. This is the dupe for, what's it called? Cacharel, Yes I Am. So this is notes of raspberry, tangerine, lemon, bergamot in the top, middle notes of gardenia, orange blossom, ginger flower, jasmine, rose and amber in the mid, base notes caramel, milk, vanilla, cardamom, coumarin, benzoin, licorice, sandalwood and amber. A lot of notes. It's so lovely though. Like, it's just such a nice perfume. I get this delicious creamy caramel in the base, but then it's got this sort of it's just a beautiful, spicy, creamy, fruity scent, and it smells dark. It's weird because it doesn't necessarily smell like gothic, but it has a dark smell to it. It's unusual. It's really pretty. Oh, it's so delicious. Actually, I did promise him I'd wear this again because I wore it this week and he was all stuffy. He couldn't really smell anything. So he asked me to wear it again at the weekend. So maybe I'll wear it tomorrow, which is Sunday. So you might see this briefly again next week. But it's delicious. I wore this one to work. I put this on in the morning, and then when I was at work, I topped up with the thing that I think honestly smells exactly the same as it. People on Fragrantica don't necessarily agree with me, but I genuinely think that Pascal Morabito Amer smells exact. It smells like a dupe of Yes I Am, and it smells so similar to this one that I can literally wear them interchangeably. So I top up with that one. I just wore it all day. I reapplied it in the evening. I didn't want to put anything else on. It doesn't last particularly long, but again, Yes I Am is another one of those that just has this tiny hint of that tar scent in, and all the flankers of Yes I Am from Cacharel have that tar note in to extremes. So the pink one, which I thought was kind of nice but even sweeter than the original, that one was that was much stronger in the tar note. But I think it's called I'm Fabulous, the purple one. That is, I mean, it's almost all I could smell. Almost all I could smell was that tar note in that. So I stick to the flankers, even though they don't last. The dupes, even though they don't last as long, just because they don't have that same like tar note that I get. But I love them. I love them. They're delicious. Either of them are perfect, to be honest. So then I wore, what beauty, Love from Lush. I'm not sure if there's a way that I can do this without, oh, maybe I'll put that one over here. Can I fit it in? Yeah, I reckon. Um, so, oh, it's so pretty. Love from Lush. This is from the perfume library, so unfortunately it's one of the more expensive ones, although again, as is often the way with the more expensive perfumes from Lush, I got it from eBay. It's warm, but it's really tangy and juicy at the same time. It's got notes of lemongrass, cinnamon, red apple, Amalfi lemon, bergamot, jasmine, rose, and ylang ylang. It has light florals going on here, so I think it's way more fruity than it is floral in this case. And then, so you've got this really interesting, slightly aromatic, really lemon and limey smell coming from that lemongrass. And then, of course, you've got the Amalfi lemon, which is very juicy, very zingy, super hardcore citrus. But the apple here is a red apple, and it almost smells baked. And then, of course, you've got a sprinkling of cinnamon, so it's got a beautiful spice in there. And I would say, if you can imagine a baked red apple with a sprinkling of cinnamon that hasn't got sugar on it, if you see what I mean. So it's not like a sickly sweet apple as you get with a lot of red apples, where they kind of start turning into like a boiled sweet Jolly Rancher kind of, that kind of smell. This one smells like a very natural baked red apple, with some cinnamon, but then you've got so much citrusiness going on with it as well that it's very, very tangy and zingy. It's just so pretty. I really like Love. Frank from And Fragrances, which is also Simon Constantine. This is one of his. He used to be the perfumer for Lush, so he made Love. He made love. He made love. So he made Sweet Love, and he also made Frank because that's his company, And Fragrances. And they definitely have a similarity going on. There's like a crossover with the kind of smells they are. But Frank is like a mango perfume. It's that same. It's got this very similar profile, but is even kind of smoother and a bit sweeter, and it's so delicious. I have a little 10 ml of Frank and I absolutely love that. I might love it more than Love, but I still really love Love. And the fact that Love is like a baked red apple with a bit of cinnamon always makes me happy. It smells to me, it almost doesn't feel like the right time of year to wear this. It almost feels like this is more of an autumnal kind of smell, but I wanted to wear it again before it started to get warm because there's just something about that kind of red apple smell that I find really, really nice and cozy. This is not cozy, it's just straight clean. Oh, it's really, really lush, this perfume. Mmm. So last week I was talking about Born Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker, which is like a really good, get up in the morning, haven't had time to shower yet, like you're going to go and have a coffee and your breakfast or deal with the kids or, whatever you're doing first thing. It's one of those kind of smells to me. So this is Boum from Jeanne Arthes, and this one is called, do they even say it on there? It's called Boum Savon. Doesn't say. Got a little Jeanne Arthes thing back here. It's got these cool, weird little bottles. Oh my goodness. And it smells like a delicious, clean bubble bath. It has that same thing that I have with Born Lovely, which is it has a wet smell to it. It has an actual water smell to it. It smells like washing that's just come out of a washing machine that's still wet, like cold and wet, but really fragrant from whatever you've washed it with, but not like harsh or shampooey. It's soapy in the way that I like, Oh, it's so pretty. And I can read the notes, but I'm not entirely sure how well it describes it, but it's just so lovely. Very, very nice. Really, really lovely to wear. It's got almond and floral notes in the top notes. The middle notes say water lily and lily of the valley. Base notes are musk and jasmine. Now, I'm not mad for lily of the valley. I really genuinely don't like water lily very much, and I'm not keen on jasmine. So the fact that I like this one is kind of random, but it doesn't come across as those notes to me, and it's not too screechy. It's not piercing or sharp. It doesn't have that classic white floral bouquet kind of smell to it. It's got a nice level of sweetness. It's very fresh, very clean. It's soapy, but in more of a bubble bath way, and in like a fancy bubble bath. It doesn't smell like cheap to me. I'm sure some people will disagree, but I absolutely love this one. I know that Delicious Delights has this as well, and I know that she really likes it. It's such a perfect thing. This is my kind of fresh in the morning one. It's just so lush. Really love this perfume. If you can get hold of it, it's totally, totally worth having. I really, really like it, and I think it was about £8 or £9 for 100 ml. It's really good. That one, actually, it lasted quite a long time on me, and on my clothes it lasted for ages. So it's a good, good one. Okay, now we've got one I haven't talked about on here before, and weird thing about this, I bought this perfume, I reckon I've had this for about a year and a half, and I hadn't worn it until recently because when I first got it, I sprayed it out and I was like, I'm not sure about that one, I don't know if I'm bothered. And I put it away into one of my boxes of things to review, and it sort of went to the bottom and I completely forgot about it. So this is a tester bottle. I took it out again when I was looking at what I was going to declutter, and I smelt it again and I was like, well, you idiot, this is really nice. Yeah, super pretty. So this is Guess Girl, if you can actually see it. I think it's called Guess Girl. Am I getting that right? Yeah. Guess Girl by Guess. So this normally has a massive flower on top, like a plastic flower, but because this is a tester bottle, I don't have that lid, which is good because I don't like those lids anyway, and I probably would have changed it because I just really don't like big flowery things. If it had like a cool wooden lid, I'd be chuffed. But anyway, so this is Guess Girl. This is a really pretty, fruity, floral musk. I think when I first got it, I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of something, and I couldn't think what it was, and it was driving me kind of nuts, and I just was like, what the hell is that? And then now I'm wondering if it's just because I'm realizing that Guess have a super specific musk in some of their perfumes, and it's a musk that I really enjoy because Guess Girl has exactly the same kind of musky, kind of almost bar soapy style, beautiful musk that is in Guess Dare, and I love that perfume. It's one of my absolute favourites. But it also is the same kind of musk that I got with the, is it called 1981? The indigo one for women, the one that has the red wine note. Now that one, unfortunately, the red wine in that just actually, like in the same way real red wine does, it just gave me a bit of a headache and I couldn't wear it. But I really liked it. It's beautiful and it has the same musk in as this one. It's just so pretty. This is raspberry, melon, and bergamot in the top. The middle notes are orchid, lily, and black lotus. Lotus? Actually, no, that says black locust. Okay, I don't know what that flower is. It's interesting. Base notes is Madagascar vanilla and Australian sandalwood, and this is like to my nose, this is mainly raspberry, orchid, sandalwood, a bit of vanilla, just to sweeten it up, just enough. But then there's a ton of musk in this. It's weird that it doesn't say there's musk in this. It's definitely musky. Again, unless, like with last week, this is that same kind of orchid note that's just super, super musky. Because not all perfumes I've smelled with orchid in, like, are musky. But this one, the one I had last week that's called Orchid Paradisi or something, and the Lalique one that I was talking about last week, super musky. This is super musky. And I wore this on Sunday because my husband had been up staying with his family for a couple of days. And I was like, I would like to spend some time, some quality time with him. And I put this on and it's honestly catnip. It's like catnip to him. It's so interesting with Damon because if you've watched our videos, the things that he chooses as his favourites, they're very rarely the things that he comments on when I'm wearing them. So I guess they're things that when he's just sniffing them, he's like, oh, okay. But with the musky perfumes, there's obviously something that happens when I'm wearing them on my skin that he will just be like, rawr. So I was wearing it and he just buried his head in my neck and he just kept, he was taking these huge breaths and he was like, oh, rawr. And he does exactly the same way I wear Guess Dare. So, you know, this is the thing. Sometimes I just know he's going to go for a fruity musk. This one's a bit more floral. Well, no, because Guess Dare's quite floral as well. Totally different florals, but that one smells a bit more summery maybe. But this one, it's got a perfect level of sharpness, a perfect level of sweetness. I don't find it piercing or screechy, which is good because at some point I will talk about the other Guess Girls as well. And I often find these kind of fruity floral perfumes to be very screechy. But this one I don't find screechy. I think it's really pretty. It's girly, feminine, easy to wear, an easy reach. And yeah, I mean, very much approved by my husband who thought I smelled heavenly. And interestingly enough, he also complimented me on this. In fact, he could smell this when he came into my room when I was wearing it. And he was like, oh, it smells really nice in here. And then I said, oh, is it me? And he came sniffing. He was like, oh, yeah, it's really nice. And this, randomly, is not even called a perfume. What do they even call this? They call this a treatment fragrance. So this is Eau Ressourcante. I don't think I've pronounced that right, but, you know, I'm very British, I'm afraid. So this is from Clarins. This is one of their treatment fragrances. I just always call it the blue Clarins because I am a Luddite. So this is so pretty. This, interestingly enough, this is what my aunt wears. And I smelt it on her, and when I gave her a hug, and I was like, "Oh, you smell really nice." And she said, "Oh, she said actually the blue one from Clarins." And I think loads of people just say the red one, the blue one. So anyway, this has notes of basil and lemon in the top, and middle note of iris, and then the base notes are cedar and benzoin. When you first put this on, you get the lemon and the basil. It is super zingy, a little bit sharp. It's like unsweetened lemon juice. And then that warmth and sweetness comes through from a benzoin and it goes really irisy. When I first smelt this, I thought it was a bit violety. Like I thought she was wearing a violet perfume. But I think maybe I was just mixing up my purple florals because you can sense it's iris, but it starts somewhere very different to where it ends up, is what I'd say about this. It starts up being like, holy hell, that has woken me right up. And then it turns into this gorgeous, gentle, irisy skin scent that's kind of smells clean, fluffy. It smells like you smell amazing in the same way this one, right? It smells like you smell amazing, but you're not wearing a perfume, if you see what I mean. So she works with elderly people in a care home, and this is the perfect kind of scent for that kind of thing. It's one of those you can wear it in places where you're not supposed to wear perfume kind of smells. It's gorgeous, and honestly, I'm not sure why it is on me that this lasts for so long. And to be honest, when like the last time I saw my aunt and she was wearing this, I can't imagine she'd just come from home. She was like going around and visiting people and saying hello. You know, I think it might have been Christmas, and so yeah, it obviously lasts quite well on her if I could smell it on her too. But this lasts on me for ages, like for all day. I could smell it all day. To be fair, I was in the house, so I wasn't out and about, but yeah, for some reason this one just lasts for ages on my skin and it lasts for ages on clothes. So I normally just put a little bit of this in a sprayer, you know, spray it because I don't really like dabber bottles to be honest. But I think it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And yeah, if you work for the NHS or anything, I highly recommend this one. It's not actually hugely expensive to be fair, but I did get this one from eBay because, you know, I like to get bargains. Also wore this week. Ooh, on one of the colder days because again, I think we're moving into the kind of weather where I probably won't be wearing this one because it's going to be too beastly for me because it is quite strong. Oh, it's so pretty though. But yeah, Lord of Misrule. I wanted to give it a good wear before the weather turns into something a bit warmer. Beautiful, delicious, a really interesting and unusual green vanilla to me. This is patchouli, vanilla and black pepper, and it really just is the most beautiful vanilla in this. It's so creamy and lush because there's tonka in it as well. Oh, it might be tonka or coumarin, I can't remember. Let's have a little look. It's got tiny, tiny writing. Where does it say? Oh, it's coumarin, so probably even sweeter, I believe. Um, Absolutely delicious, really lovely, warm, spicy. I always think it's ever so slightly minty. This one, I get like a fresh herbal kind of patchouli in this, but it's also very deep and like the black pepper gives it a dark. I nearly said a dark soul, which sounds so silly, and that's also the name of the game that my husband plays. But anyway, I mean, oh gosh, I just took the lid off and now everywhere nearby smells like Lord of Misrule. It's delicious. I love it. I can't believe it took me so long to buy it, but... So last but not least, I wore this little babe, which I'm really sorry to say you just can't really find anywhere. Keep an eye out for it on Vinted, which is where I got this, or on eBay. But I much prefer this to the warm cashmere version. This is Fresh Cream Soft Suede and from Philosophy, and it's just a beautiful smoky vanilla. That's what this one is, but it retains the original fresh cream smell, so it still smells like that fresh cream. And I do think that in the warm cashmere version that takes a step away, and it may smell like a creamy vanilla, but it doesn't smell like the fresh cream anymore. It doesn't like, it's a flanker, it's almost a flanker of this one instead of being a flanker of fresh cream, if you see what I mean. um it's so pretty. Apparently, the new Sweet Tooth, the Sweet Tooth Caramel, is supposed to smell like this one. Whereas this original Sweet Tooth, which I still haven't worn, I must wear it. My sister bought it for me for my birthday. So the original Sweet Tooth smells almost exactly the same as Philosophy Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere. So that one smells like a woody vanilla. And this one smells like a smoky vanilla, but a smoky vanilla and cream. It's honestly so pretty. I mean, this is my baby cat really, because baby cats are flipping expensive for me, even though it's absolutely lush. So I might just put that up there. You want to live with Vanilla Musk, mate? You just go up there. Yeah. So cute. What a cute little bottle. It's just a little 15ml. So the notes in this one are vanilla, suede, whipped cream, caramel, whiskey, amber, and musk. And I was just having a day when I wanted to be sweet, and this was the one I was thinking of, and I really enjoyed wearing it. It's so pretty. I was just about to say this won't really last me long because it's only a 15ml, but of course, as soon as we get into warmer weather, this will go away. The Philosophy perfumes aren't massively strong, so this one will come out in autumn, definitely. Because it's got that lovely kind of suedey yumminess. Oh, yeah. So I wonder when the other Sweet Tooth will come out in the UK because you can't get that over here yet. They've only just got the original Sweet Tooth here. I highly recommend that one, especially if you've been wanting the fresh cream warm cashmere. If you've been watching all the other YouTubers who've been talking about that one for ages, just get Sweet Tooth, honestly, because I think that Sweet Tooth is actually nicer than that because warm cashmere has a bit of a kind of biscuity vibe in it, whereas Sweet Tooth has all the elements of fresh cream warm cashmere without that kind of biscuity note. So personally, I like Sweet Tooth better, but and so I literally just sold my warm cashmere and when my sister bought me the Sweet Tooth because there's no point in me having both. They smell almost identical. So if you want to try that one, as soon as they bring out some testers of the new Sweet Tooth, the Sabrina Carpenter Sweet Tooth Caramel, I think it's called, as soon as I can get my hands on that, I will get my hands on it, and then I will let you guys know whether it actually does smell like fresh cream soft suede. Because if it does, it's a really good alternative. I don't think they actually make this one at all anymore. So I think it's going to be incredibly hard to find. So if that one smells the same, not only is it a good alternative because this is probably discontinued, also it's just going to be cheaper than Philosophy. So, all right. That's it from me, guys. That's everything. I managed to just about squeeze everything on. I hope it's not too messy. But yeah, it was a fun week. Lots of delicious things. I think I've only got just the first two I will probably be getting rid of, but everything else definitely staying. Really, really nice. I'll have probably a couple of other new things to talk about next week. Let me know what you've been wearing. Let me know if you've got any of these. Let me know if you've smelt this range from L'Occitane, and let me know if you've got Guess Girl because it's literally just been sitting in a box for like over a year, and I just hadn't even really thought about it. But it's really pretty. It's a really good one. All right, bye guys. I've been waffling on for quite long enough. See ya.